Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Brett Park, and in today's video, we're gonna give a little tour of my 25 square foot studio at school. And this is a special treat because y'all are getting satisfying decluttering videos, sorting videos of paper, drawings, close-ups of my brushes, my paints that I use, and everything in between, babes. And before this video starts, y'all, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe, babes, and follow my Instagram. Follow my damn Instagram at Brett Paint. It's a fun and fresh time there. Now for some context, I actually go to USC for art and communications, which means I'm actually not a BFA major. So I'm not supposed to have a studio at school, but I finessed it. So these 3 walls that y'all are gonna see are mine. And I'm lucky because not like I'm closed into a box, I actually have an open studio to work with. There's a whole washing station for paintbrushes. There's kind of like a communal table of different acrylic paints, some snacks that my teacher and professor left. And in the corner is my space, which is where I have these 3 walls to work with, which is nice because I have a private kind of area, but I also can, step out into the real world and talk to some other people, aka my classmates. But I think we should just start at the most interesting part, babes, which is the damn painting cart. This is where all the magic starts happening, okay? It's where I mix my paints, it's where I get my paints, it's where my paint brushes are. It has everything. I'm gonna put a lot of the products I use on like the product section of this YouTube video so you yourself can purchase the things I use. I use a white plastic packet of palette paper. I wanna transfer over to glass soon, but girl, I haven't found any good glass to use yet. There are also 2 jars filled with Gamsol, which is where I clean my brushes and thin out the paint so I can build up layers of color on top of each other. My paints are also egregious, y'all. Like absolutely egregious, so dirty. I barely know what paint is gonna come out of the tube because they're so dirty that I can't even read the labels. So it's like Russian roulette. On the bottom here, I have a ton of different drawings I organize that give me kind of inspiration for the character I'm developing. A lot of it is webcomic based, where there's text included with some images that I draw on. Very intuitive. There's watercolor, marker, graphite, etc. So while I do work with oil paints, on the bottom I do have a ton of acrylics because there's a certain fluorescence that I really love with acrylic plasticish paint. I want to experiment more with them. I haven't yet, but that should be fun. That should be fun when it happens. So moving on, I personally love this section of the studio because this is where most of my experimentation happens. I'm currently investigating plasticity of gender, especially how the racialization of Asian bodies in America relates to their feminization, which points evidence to gender actually being a social construct. Because girl, how do you effeminize someone simply for their race? Like, babes, it should be impossible if gender was so strict, but you're doing it, babes. Like, let's think about that. So this is oil paint trapped between 2 sheets of cellophane that I tacked up with some thumbtacks. I'm also working on inflatables and what it means to self-inflate when you're experiencing a flatness. So when racial stereotypes are imposed on me, it kind of flattened my being into like a caricature of myself. So how do I self-inflate to resist those stereotypes? And is it possible to resist those stereotypes? And I actually consider these as almost performances because when I blew it up in the Ziploc, it was like puffy, babes, but a lot of them like deflated because when the outside world is pressuring you to be something you're not and you're trying to resist that, it's very hard to maintain that stress against that plastic, and so air eventually seeps its way out and it deflates, which I'm really interested in. I'm still working through some concepts with that, but in general, this wall is about 4 feet wide and 5 feet tall, and it is a movable wall because it has wheels, but I share a space with someone else in the class, and so I can't really move it. She's just here, stabilized. This is where I have my drawing. The walls, I'm super lucky, are really high, and so I can work as vertical as I want, really. It's a new drawing I'm working on. I'm sure y'all probably saw like a little montage of some drawings I did previously. It's just a larger scale version of that. I really enjoy it because you get the texture of, not the paper actually, which is a common mistake when you see it in person. It's the wall, because the paper is so thin that it gets the texture of the, I'm not sure if it's like masonite board or if it's like drywall board behind this, but you get this rough, almost grid-like texture, which I really enjoy for the paper. And below this drawing is where it gets really interesting, y'all. Below both of these walls, I am trapped between artwork that I made in the past that I just have no other place to store it. For example, for a gallery called Gastein run by Courtney Poe, love you Courtney Poe, I had these paintings slash drawings that I did. I personally love these two a lot. It's like a diptych moment, fun and fresh, exploring the phallus, what the phallus means. Over here is a bag with all this miscellaneous stuff. And the backpack has like a tube, a staple gun, glue stick, everything. I also rolled up a cellophane sculpture that I displayed in a gallery just recently at school. I can throw up some images of what those look like. And you'll probably notice that I worked on unstretched canvas a lot, and that's literally because of this space. I can't afford to have a bunch of stretcher bars in the studio and stretched canvases because they're clunky. I have to move them if I work on different walls. I like working on both walls at the same time. And so all of my unstretched canvases are right here. There's probably like 20 feet plus of just all my finished works from the past 4 months in that damn roll. And they're literally just stored at the bottom here, like collecting dust, which is kind of crazy. If you want to purchase them, let me know. But this is kind of crazy. I literally have a feeling that I'm gonna be like in a museum in 3 years. Fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna be in a museum in 3 years. And so I don't want to sell any of these canvases because babes, like when I pop off in my little museum shows and then when I'm 50, 60, they're gonna want these for a retrospective. And it's gonna be so hard to get the pieces back on loan if they're everywhere around the world. That's just me manifesting and being delusional, but it is like so hard to let these go because this is literally me. And so if I'm gonna give it away, it's gonna be to someone who I know and respect and love and feel safe for them collecting my work. But if that opportunity does not come, I'm literally gonna keep it for myself. It's like I want to have these in my back pocket. So that's it for the floor. We only have one more wall left, so let's just get into it. So this wall is for painting. That's literally it. That's it for this little studio tour moment. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you like this video, like the video. If you have a fun comment, critique, or joke to share, comment it down below. If you like me, my art, or want to follow my journey as an art student in LA, you can subscribe or follow my Instagram at BrettPaint. And yeah, I think that's the end of the video, y'all. That's the end of the video.